There's one movement you did without thinking at 30. Today, you probably haven't done it in years. It isn't running. It isn't climbing stairs. It isn't carrying your groceries in from the car. It's getting down to the floor and back up on your own. In traditional Okinawa, people in their 90s did this several times a day, inside the house. Nobody there called it exercise. Now pay attention. What this habit protects isn't what you think. It isn't your knee. It isn't your back. It's what happens to you in your own hallway at 9 at night. This Okinawan habit trains 5 things in your legs. 4 of them you could probably guess. The 5th one isn't strength. It isn't balance. It isn't flexibility. And it decides whether a fall in your hallway becomes a phone call to your daughter or a phone call to a nursing home. I'll hand you that one at the very end, along with a number out of Yale that stopped me cold. That number is 47%. For decades, you were told the floor is for children and that after 70, the safe place for your body is your recliner. But the fracture numbers tell you a different story. Researchers compared hip fracture rates between people of Japanese ancestry and white Americans. Between ages 50 and 84, the Japanese rate was about half. That group included Okinawa and families living in Hawaii. And here's the part almost nobody mentions. The same researchers looked at Japanese families who had moved to Hawaii. Those families were living American style. Their fracture rate still matched what was seen in Okinawa. So no, I'm not going to sit here and tell you the floor is the explanation. It probably isn't the whole story. Bone size and body build count too. But the contrast is real, and it's a curious thing. Because the villain here isn't your doctor. It isn't your age. It's the comfort economy, and it works against your legs every day. The recliner, the tall bed, the deep sofa, that whole industry lives on saving you effort. Over a year, that's training that quietly left your life. Our conveniences took it. And there's a sentence you may have already said out loud. I don't get down on the floor anymore. Nobody warned you that sentence was a decision. It sounds like a simple fact. Before we go further, let me be very clear about one thing. I don't want you to take this the wrong way. Your bathroom grab bar, your stair rail, your cane, your walker, your non-slip mat. None of that is the villain in this video. Those things prevent fractures. Install them. Use them. Rebuilding what your legs can do and making your home safe are not 2 options. They're 2 halves of the same job. One completes the other. Something similar happened in Okinawa, and you can measure it. Between the late 1980s and 2004, age-adjusted hip fracture rates rose in both sexes. The total number of fractures rose 188%, from 469 to 1,349. That was the same stretch when the traditional house became a Western-style house. The houses changed, and the fracture numbers changed with them. That's a pattern. It isn't proof. Today, I'm going to show you 5 things this habit trains in your legs. Pay attention, because this changes everything. These are not 5 different habits. It's one habit, and it trains 5 things in you at once. That habit is living part of your day at floor level. And you'll see that number 1 shocks almost everybody. And remember one thing. What you lost to disuse almost always comes back to you with use. Not in a week, not on your own, but it comes back. There's a simple test doctors and researchers studied for years. They asked people to sit down on the floor and stand back up, with as little support as possible. They followed 4,282 adults, ages 46 to 75. Median follow-up ran 12.3 years, with 665 deaths from natural causes. In the best scoring group, mortality was 3.7%. In the worst scoring group, it was 42.1%. Here's what I want from you before we go on. If it's been more than a year since you sat on your own floor, comment number 1 below. Just the number 1. I read them. That's an association. It isn't a cause. Nobody proved that practicing this makes you live longer. The test doesn't see one muscle of yours. It sees your overall condition. Strength, flexibility, balance, and body weight all show up there together. People who do it easily tend to be in better shape overall. That's what the study sees, and nothing more. Let's start at number 5. The ankle nobody asks for anymore. Your ankle is the most obedient joint you own, and it never complains. But after 60, it only gives you what you ask of it. And you stopped asking without ever noticing. You see it in small moments of your day. Your heel lifts on its own when you squat at the bottom drawer. Your foot slaps down harder when you step off a curb. Because getting down to the floor asks your foot to come way up toward your shin. Then it asks the opposite, with the top of your foot fully stretched. Walking on flat ground asks none of that from you. About 10 degrees covers your walk, so 10 degrees is all your ankle keeps. Stairs ask for more than that, especially coming down. Now, if you're sitting, pull your toes up toward your knees. Feel your shin working? That's the range your week almost never asks of you. Chair, bed, car, and sofa never ask your foot past 10 degrees. A floor would ask you every single day, several times over. The most common mistake is blaming your knee. You feel the trouble at your knee, and your investigation stops right there. Your ankle is the ground floor of the building. When it locks up, the floor above pays your bill. And the floor right above your ankle is where item number 4 lives. Number 4, your hips' forgotten directions. Everybody praises walking, and it earns that praise. But after 60, it becomes nearly everything your hip does. And walking asks for one direction only. You've felt this in your own house. You cross your leg to pull on a sock, and your hip complains on one side. Or you get into the car and lift your leg in with your hand. That isn't laziness on your part, because your chair asks your hip to fold forward near 90 degrees. All day, for years on end. Sitting cross-legged asks for 90 to 100 degrees, plus rotation outward. A deep squat asks for more, depending on how you measure it. And those are exactly the directions you use to take a step sideways. Try something free right now. Sitting down, let your knees fall open without forcing anything. Notice which side of yours opens less. That side is the one your chair trained the most. Think about tripping on your own rug. Your foot has to shoot out sideways, fast. If your hip never does that sitting, it hesitates standing. The most common mistake is thinking training is what you do standing up. Sitting a different way is training for you too. And there's a half of that movement your recliner erased completely. That's the next item on this list. If you like this kind of content and it's useful to you, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Now let's talk about number 3. The way down, not the way up. You've trained standing up from a chair, and rightly so. But after 60, almost nobody trains your way back down. And your fall lives in the way down. You recognize this on your own stairs. Going up costs you your breath. Coming down is what hurts your knee. The handrail becomes mandatory going down, not going up. Lowering to the floor is your thigh muscle holding your weight and braking. Your chair cuts that trip short by about 16 inches. It erases the final range, the deepest one of all. It's the same range a curb asks of you. There's a man named Frank who is 76 and lives in Tennessee. He uses a cane, and that cane is exactly right for him. In his kitchen, Frank kept a heavy pot in the bottom drawer under his stove. For 2 years, he called his daughter over to get it. One day, he started resting a hand on the counter and going down with the pot. That's the same hand that holds his cane outside. The cane stays. The drawer became the training. The most common mistake is rushing your way down. You drop yourself and let gravity do the work. The work is in the braking. Slow is where your muscle learns. And when that happens many times a day, something else is born. Number 2. The reps nobody counts for you. You probably think training has a scheduled hour on your calendar, but after 60, what decides your balance is a different math. It's the math of your whole day. There's a woman named Marilyn who is 66 and lives in Iowa. Her granddaughter spread a puzzle across the living room rug. Without thinking, Marilyn pulled up a chair and sat right down on the floor. Only afterward did she do the math. It had been 8 years since. Marilyn sat on the floor on purpose. She got no diagnosis and she didn't get sick. She just stopped and the calendar kept moving. Here's why that matters so much to you. Every time you go down to the floor and back, you change your base of support. Your weight shifts and your posture corrects itself. That's 1 dose of balance training for you. 20 small doses in your day beat 1 big dose on Tuesday. The traditional Okinawan house asked for that movement many times a day. Low table, futon on the floor, tatami mat. There was no training hour there. The architecture did the physical therapy. Press both of your feet into the floor right now, hard for 3 seconds. Feel your thigh switch on? That's what left your weak. The most common mistake is waiting for the right time to train. The right time is already inside your house. If you're at home here in the States, your living room rug and your bottom kitchen drawer are the whole gym. And there's one specific rehearsal hidden in this habit. That one is number 1 on the list. And now I have to say the most important sentence in this video. Don't pause here and try to get down to your floor tonight just to see if you can. Not alone, not on a hard floor, not to prove anything to yourself. Getting down is rarely the problem. Getting up is. And finding that out alone is exactly the situation you need to stay away from. If you want to rebuild this, the person to find is a physical therapist. Ask for it by name. Floor transfer training. Your doctor can refer you. This is a real thing, and they teach it with someone standing right beside you. Number 1. The rehearsal for the worst hour of your life. There's a man named Ray, who is 73 and lives in Ohio. He laid down on the gravel to look under his 2004 pickup. He fixed the problem in 4 minutes, but it took him 11 minutes to get back up. That day, Ray wasn't hurt, and nobody had to help him. He just spent 11 minutes there, looking for the way back. The real threat to you isn't the fall, it's the time on the floor afterward. Researchers at Yale followed 1,103 residents of New Haven. All were 72 or older, and all walked without help. 313 of them fell without getting hurt. Of those, 148 reported being unable to get up after at least 1 fall. That's 148 out of 313, 47%. And those people were not injured. Nothing broken, nothing sprained, just a body that no longer knew the way back. Another group of researchers in the United Kingdom looked at people over 90. That age is much higher, and I want you to note that. Among those who fell there, 8 in 10 couldn't get up after some fall. 3 in 10 stayed on the floor an hour or more. And long time on the floor showed up linked to serious injury and hospital admission. Nobody has run the study where you teach a group to get off the floor, then follow that group for 10 years. So I won't pretend. What I can tell you is that this is a movement pattern, And a movement pattern you never practice is one you can't perform under stress. The Okinawan rehearses this his whole life and never calls it training. When the floor really happens, his body has been there hundreds of times. The most common mistake is thinking it's too late for you now. In one small study, and I want you to hear me, there were 10 people, nursing home residents between 86 and 96, trained for 8 weeks. The 9 who finished got measurably stronger. 9 people, and I won't inflate that for you. But age didn't stop a single one of them. So your age isn't the argument. 5 things and 1 habit. 5. Your ankle lost range because your week only asks for 10 degrees. 4. Your hip forgot the outward directions because your chair only asks for the front one. 3. The way down left your routine, and the way down is where your knee hurts. 2. Your balance reps lived in your house, not in a training hour. 1. Getting off the floor is the movement you'll need most and rehearse least. I'm not talking to you about living longer. I'm talking about who decides your week, about still driving yourself to the store, about sitting on the rug with your granddaughter instead of watching from above, about not having to call your daughter at 9 at night. That isn't only health, that's your quality of life and your freedom. This video is for education and doesn't replace medical advice. Every health situation is unique, especially if you take daily medication. Talk with your doctor before changing exercise, medication, or treatment. Stay strong, stay steady, stay independent. Because aging isn't something you endure, it's something you steer. Thank you so much for staying with me, and I'll see you in the next video.